This is KVUE News Daybreak.
A city celebrating its resilience as a tragic anniversary draws near. New Orleans continues to rebuild following the destruction left behind by Hurricane Katrina 10 years ago.
The fact that we can make this many strides 10 years after a terrible, epic disaster, I think it's an indication of the kind of spirit that we have in this city.
President Obama touring the city, admitting there's still much work to be done.
Good morning. Thank you for watching KVUE News Daybreak at 4:30. I'm Corey Coffin.
And I'm Brian Mays. We'll get to Hurricane Katrina's 10-year anniversary in just a bit. But first, our Daybreak Top 3 for this Friday morning. An update from Virginia today. The new information police were able to uncover about the gunman behind the shooting on live television.
And following that shooting, a renewed push for stricter gun laws. The calls for, quote, common sense gun control from one of the victims' families.
And a renewed controversy just south of Austin as Friday night football returns tonight. The fight to get a beloved song reinstated at Hayes High School. We'll have everything you need to know about all those stories ahead this morning on Daybreak. We turn now to the Storm Center with what we're tracking and Storm Team meteorologist Albert Ramon. Good Friday morning.
Hi there, Brian and Corey. Actually, a pleasant start to the day. 70s and some 60s on the map right now. 74 in Austin, 69 in Bastrop, and 68 in Lockhart, with a calm wind to light wind across the area right now and a mostly clear sky across central Texas. Here's how the day works out. 70s and nice this morning, but 89 and sunshine at noon. We'll top out today at 98 degrees under a lot of sun, so this heat continues today, and high pressure remains in charge for the weekend. We'll look at temperatures, highs for the upcoming weekend and coming up, and also a brand new track on Erica, and yet again the track has shifted, this time a little bit more to the west. I'll show that to you coming up in just a few minutes.
Albert, thanks. Saturday marks 10 years since Hurricane Katrina transformed the Gulf Coast. President Obama was a junior senator from Illinois when the hurricane hit. Thursday, he toured New Orleans as president, reflecting on rebuilding the city.
Because the project of rebuilding here wasn't just to restore the city as it had been, it was to build a city as it should be. A city where everyone, no matter what they look like, how much money they got, where they come from, where they're born, has a chance to make it.
President Obama gave his speech at a community center once under 17 feet of water. He admitted there's still a lot of work left to be done. As we draw closer to that tragic anniversary, KVUE's Jason Whiteley is also in New Orleans this week. He tracked down one woman he met back in 2005 at the height of the devastation. Here's her story of survival and endurance.
Nobody's done anything to that house.
The water was just under the bridge, but over the Circle Food store.
This was underwater too.
If you never leave the French Quarter,
It's like a ghost town when you really look at it.
you'd never get a clear picture of New Orleans' recovery.
Unfortunately, they're forgetting about the little bitty communities like us.
This is the 7th Ward, once a bustling neighborhood, now empty lots and abandoned houses.
We walk in the streets now because the sidewalks are all cluttered.
10 years after Hurricane Katrina, and the recovery in this city is spotty at best.
I know they was in the attic. I don't
We
know
first
where
met
they are
Diane
now.
Kelly in 2005
Hello? Yeah, what, Cookie, where are you?
at the Astrodome in Houston. She came looking for her big brother, who was evacuated there. A news story she has never seen
Oh my God, I had that wig on.
until now. Their reunion happened in front of our camera.
I didn't mean to beat him up.
I told you to get out. You wouldn't listen to me.
The video stirs up memories and emotions that have gone undisturbed for a decade. Down the street, parishioners never returned to the Catholic Church. The funeral home a block away is forgotten as well. But Diane Kelly rebuilt her home, and her son says neighbors have begun to follow suit.
So you see some improvements, but you know, it's not everywhere.
Politicians use words like resilience when describing the recovery. That depicts the people, though, more than the process.
Look at that. Look at this building. That was a church.
Ones like this 65-year-old retired nurse from the Navy who refuses to give up on a place
I mean, this is a historical place.
that so many others already have.
With a lot to do.
a lot.
An incredible story. That was Jason Whiteley reporting. New details from Virginia this morning, where we've learned the man who killed a news crew on live TV apparently had an escape plan. When police searched Vester Lee Flanagan's car, they found a pistol and extra ammunition. There was also a wig, shawl, sunglasses, and 3 different license plates. Ultimately, Flanagan took his own life after being chased by police Wednesday. WDBJ had a moment of silence yesterday for the victims, 24-year-old reporter Allison Parker and her photographer, 27-year-old Adam Ward. Flanagan was fired from that station 2 years ago for anger issues. There's now a renewed push for gun control in the wake of Wednesday's deadly shooting, and the man leading that charge is the father of the reporter killed. As ABC's Brandy Hitt reports, the long-standing hot-button political issue is also taking center stage on the campaign trail.
I'm sorry, but she's not going to be there.
Grieving father Andy Parker is turning his daughter Allison's shooting death into a call for tougher gun laws.
These people are crazy and they can get handguns. I'm for the Second Amendment, but there's got to be some common sense.
The gunman behind Wednesday's shooting live on WDBJ had a history of anger and aggression, according to station management who fired him 2 years ago. And it's believed he sent this suicide note to ABC News, expressing admiration for the Columbine killers and Virginia Tech shooter. Parker's father says when you add Newtown, Connecticut and Colorado's theater massacre, it's finally time to enact stronger mental health screenings for gun owners.
The politicians that kick the can down the road, they're in the NRA's pocket.
The issue, a longtime political hot potato, is now front and center on the presidential campaign trail.
If guns were not so readily available, if we had universal background checks,
we have a serious mental problem.
Just before the shooting, Walmart announced it's no longer selling high-powered assault rifles, not for political reasons, but because consumer demand is down. It was a handgun that was used in Virginia, and police say it was purchased legally. An online petition has also started to cancel a gun show in Roanoke, Virginia this weekend. It has a few hundred supporters, but as of now, that show will go on as scheduled. Brandy Hitt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Gun-free UT! Gun-free UT!
And back here in Austin, protesters gathered on the University of Texas campus Thursday calling for a gun-free UT. Students, staff, and faculty protested a new law allowing concealed handguns on college campuses. Demonstrators read the names of mass shooting victims to voice their disapproval. Governor Greg Abbott signed the campus carry bill into law. It goes into effect August 1st of next year.
A statue of Jefferson Davis on UT's campus will come down after all. A judge approved the plan Thursday. The sons of Confederate veterans tried to stop the removal. They argue the Jefferson Davis statue has artistic and cultural value and that UT doesn't have the authority to move them because they're protected by a state code that regulates memorials of war heroes who are citizens of Texas. But the attorneys for UT argued Davis and Wilson do not match that criteria because they weren't Texans. The statue will be moved to the Briscoe Center for American History on campus. Still no word on when that will happen. For most high school teams across Texas, tonight's opening night for kickoff. But at Hayes High School, one of their Friday night traditions will no longer be part of their football games. Over the summer, Hayes ISD removed the song Dixie from the school's playlist in light of the Charleston church shooting. Many people in the community are upset. Some even started a petition to reverse the school's Dixie decision.
It's a very loved and known song.
When you remove the song Dixie from that package, you can be the rebels without an association to the Confederacy.
Students will get to vote on a new fight song next year. This season, the school's original fight song, On Wisconsin, will be used.
And despite that fight down in Hayes County, elsewhere, it's all excitement about opening night for Friday night football. Kickoff is tonight for most schools, and fans from Austin and McNeil High will be treated to a fancy new field. Daybreak's Tina Shiley joins us live at House Park with more on the renovations 3 months after floods destroyed that field. Tina.
That's right. Last night was actually the first big game here at House Park. I want to show you the field here behind me. It was McCallum and Anderson High School. Anderson ended up on top here. It was the Taco Shack Bowl, something they've been doing for 14 years. It's a big neighborhood rivalry, but a lot of fans were concerned that it wasn't going to happen because of the flooding that you mentioned. Shoal Creek was responsible for that flooding. It was making the field unusable out here because of all the flooding that actually happened. They left muddy turf and debris behind, and it also made that game in jeopardy. So last night's game, people were very excited to be out here. So all summer long, they've been working on the field to try and make sure it was ready for football season. They spent $472,000 out here. They had to replace the moldy turf, they had to rewire the scoreboard, and also install a new transformer. And it's really important because this district's got 3 stadiums with 12 high schools and 19 middle schools that need to use the field, and this is one of them. So they had to make sure that it was all ready. So AISD did apply for federal flood assistance to help cover the cost of that, but they're not really sure if they're going to get that back. It could take a whole year. So fans outside really excited about last night's game, and now tonight they've got another game, Austin and McNeil High, and that's set to kick off here at 7:30. Reporting live at House Park, Tina Shively, KVUE News Daybreak.
House Park, and you can catch all the scores and highlights tonight on the 26th season of Friday Football Fever. Be in Burnett this week for the game of the week as Burnett opens its new football stadium hosting Marble Falls. Friday Football Fever again begins at 10:35 right after the night beat.
Is there anything better than fall and football?
Not much.
So exciting.
Not much around here. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a fantastic. They do Matt and Mike and Sean. They do a fantastic job along with all the photographers here. It's a great television program.
Exciting to have that coming back. Coming up right here in KVUE, Hillary Clinton makes a controversial comparison when it comes to Republicans and women's health care.
Extreme views about women, we expect that from some of the terrorist groups.
How the GOP fired back. Plus, Donald Trump has a message for those who question his hair.
I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear.
His bizarre way of proving all those skeptics wrong.
As we mentioned earlier, there's a new track on Erica. It has shifted a bit to the west. We'll talk about that and your weekend forecast next.